I know you can conjugate verbs properly, so I think you can read. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do a piece by Lord Buckley. And Lord Buckley was a gentleman who was a lumberjack, a vaudevillian, a 1950s hipster, and the high priest of the Church of the Living Swing. He did things like he wrote the tale of Jonah and the whale. He did Mark Antony's funeral oration. But tonight we're going to be doing the Gettysburg Address. He's going to be doing the straight version. I'm going to be doing the hipster version. Now, there's different kind of cats you see. Now you see that cat sitting right over there? He's most likely a George Washington cat. You know, he digs Big George, making it across the stream with the ice and stomping soldiers and all that. And that cat over there, he's probably a Ben Franklin cat. He's with Ben Franklin. But myself, I'm a Lincoln cat. That's me. I dug old sweet, swinging, nonstop, heavy-headed Sweet Abe. We used to call him Lanky Link. That's what we called him back in those days, Lanky Link.
77 years ago, our fathers brought forth upon this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal.
Four big hits and 7 licks ago, our before daddies set forth on this sweet, groovy land, a swinging, stomping, jumping, blowing, wailing new nation, hip to the cool groove of liberty and solid scent that all the ace-lick, that all the studs, chicks, cats, and kitties, red, white, or blue, is created and level in front. The same, in straight back, you dig what I mean?
Now we're engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure.
Now we are hung here with a king-size main-day civil drag, sounding of whether that nation or any other nation, dig, so hip and so solid scent, can stay with it all the way.
We are met here on a great battlefield of that war.
We's here to dig this chop-beaten session on the side of the worst jazz blown in the entire issue, Getty's Mother's Good.
We've come to dedicate a portion of it as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live.
We have stomped out here today to turn on a small soil stash of the before-mentioned Hassel site. That's a final sweet sod pad for all those who laid it down and left it there, so that this jumping, happy beat might blow forevermore.
It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this.
And we all dig that this is the straightest lick ever done.
But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract.
But digging it from afar, we cannot take no wailing bows. We cannot mellow. We cannot put the stamp of the Naz on this sweet sod, because the strong, non-stop studs, both digging it and dug under it, who hassled here, have mellowed it with such a wild, mad beat that we can hear it, but we can't touch it.
The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but can never forget what they did here.
Now the world cats shall short dig. You hear what I say? Short dig. Nor long stash in their wigs what we is beating our chops around here. It can never be successfully shade what they lost here.
It is for us, the living, rather to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they have thus far so nobly carried on. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us.
It is for us, the swingin', to pick up the dues for those fine studs who cut out and fly it through to Innsville. It is hipper for us to be signifying to the glorious gig that we can't miss with all these bulging eyes.
That from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they here gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation shall have a new birth of freedom, and that this government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
That all these ace-stamp studs, we double our love kick to the righteous ride for which these cats have sounded the last nth bong of the bell of their bell. that we here want it stuck up straight for all to dig, that these departed studsmen not a split in vain, that this nation under the great swinging Naz shall broom up a whopper of endless Mardi Gras, that the big law of you straights, by you studs, and for you kiddies shall not be scratched from the big race. And that's why I'm a Lincoln cat. Thank you.
Yay!